Aloha everyone, I'm your host Auntie Max. Welcome to Hawaii Abroad Audio Podcast. Today is Manaʻo Monday. It's a place where I can share my Hawaiian culture thoughts and experiences. Today's topic is about Leis. Well, what is Leis? What is the significance of Leis? What does Leis have to do with Hawaii? How do we make those leis? And what is the different styles of these leis? Well, gang, it's a lot of questions. And I'm going to try my very best to share my mana'o and my thoughts about this topic. First of all, in episode 10, entitled May Day is Lei Day in Hawaii, I shared a few things about leis. So if you missed that episode, I would really encourage you to tune in to episode 10. Secondly, this past weekend was Kamehameha Day. It's a time where we celebrate and honor our king, King Kamehameha, the very first king of the Kingdom of Hawaii. We honor his legacy. And part of that annual celebration is the draping of the Kamehameha statue right in the heart of Honolulu on the island of Oahu. It's a time when many leis are strung together with thousands of flowers from throughout the islands, and we carefully drape it on the statue in honor of Kamehameha. Really, this event marks the beginning of a week-long festival. And of course, there's a lot of leis during that celebration. So now, what is a lei? Well, first, that's a loaded question because there's a lot of different kinds of leis and several different types of styles. But basically, a lei is a garland that is made of different items, but mostly it's flowers. And the intention is to wear it as an accessory. And it can be worn in different areas, but mainly it's worn around the neck. So back to one of my original questions, was the significance of lei. And what does it have to do with Hawaii? Well, before I answer that, I'm going to quote that famous Olelo No'eo, which I've done before. A'ohe pau ka ike I ka halau ho'okahi, which means not all knowledge is taught in one school. So in those terms, what I am sharing right now is what I learned. And when you look at another school, another person, they might teach it a little different. So this, as a reminder, this is information, the ike, the knowledge that I was taught that I am sharing. So back to about leis. What's the significance about leis? And what does it have to do with Hawaii? Well, first of all, a lei is something that is made by someone, and they can either wear it themselves or they can share it with someone else or, give it to someone else as a gift. And this tradition goes back, way back, and many, many generations. Whereas if you give it to someone, it's to honor them for a certain reason. And back during the monarch time, they would use leis. And there was a lot of different types of leis. So people would make it and they would wear it. And it would show, sometimes it would show a certain stature of what that person is. And sometimes it was worn just to be honored for a certain reason. Well, we continue that tradition today. You'll probably find a lot of flower leis or any type of leis that is being used during this season, right at this moment, whereas we've been having a lot of celebration in Hawaii. First, like I said in the other episode, May Day. And then now we have Kamehameha Day. And then we have graduations happening. So a lot of leis are being made and given or shared with others to honor them. Now, the interesting thing about what I brought up was graduation. If you have been to a graduation and you see a Hawaiian or a local person, really just a local person from Hawaii, you wouldn't be surprised to see them draped with a lot of leis, especially in Hawaii. We know so much people, and there's so much family and friends, and when you go to a graduation, everyone brings some sort of lei. So you see all kind of designs, and you'll even especially see the graduate wearing so many leis that it is piled above their head and you can't even see them. And sometimes you have to put it on their arms. And the leis are made in so many different styles, but it's a really cool tradition in Hawaii. And like I said, you are honoring that person. So when someone graduates, it's a great celebration. So you want to honor them by giving them a lei. An important traditional thought to keep in mind is that we believe that when you make that lei, you make it yourself. Your mana or your power, your spirit goes into that lei. And when you offer it and give it up to someone and share it with someone else, you are giving them part of your soul. So you're telling them that I honor you and this is from me. You know, nowadays a lot of us don't have too much time to make the leis because it does take a lot of time, meaning that you need to go pick your flowers or pick your ferns and get the materials to make it, to string it. If you're stringing it, normally that's pretty quick. That style is called kui. Kui is when you use a needle and thread and you have flowers of some sort and you string it onto your needle, and then once the needle fills up, you push it down on the thread and eventually it becomes a nice, beautiful garland. Another style is haku. Haku is when you braid your flowers, your ferns, different type of plants, different parts of the different plants. They all get braided in to become a beautiful lei. Another style is vili. Vili means to twine or, to go around. You'll have a piece that goes around that lei and it holds it all together as you build it. Another style is called hilo. That's the twist. That's like when you're taking two pieces and you're twisting it into the lei. I mean, it looks just like a rope when you have two pieces. And the way you kind of make it is, how I call it, is that you twist and twine. So you're twisting both pieces one way, and then you're going to twine it or you're going to wrap it the opposite way so you can see the spiral of the twists. And that's called the hilo style. And then we have the humu style. The humu is when you are sewing it. There's like some kind of backing. And you can find that being done mostly in feather leis, when there's a straight piece of the backing and then you're using a needle and a thread to sew the feathers into that lei. And it's like a flat lei, and a lot of people use it over as headbands in their popale or their hats. So really, there's several different styles, different ways of making leis. And really, it's the preference of the lei maker, what style they want to make, what style they have experience in making. And when it comes to how much material or, those items that you put into a lei, depends on how much of it that they have. But really, gang, these different styles that I just mentioned is Hawaiian culture style, but you can find leis throughout Polynesia, really. But here in Hawaii, that's the popular item that we use to share and honor and gift to each other. A little history information is that back in ancient Kahiko time, and which means ancient, in Hawaii, the people would make these leis as an offering to the gods, the different gods. It's just like a gift on how we do it now, how we gift the lei to someone. They would do it as gifting that lei to different spirits of the different elements. But one very, very important thing that we have in our culture is that when you are finished with the lei, you don't just drop it in the trash. These items came from important resources. So it came from the land. It came from the aina. The plants grew from the aina, so we recycle them back into the land. So when you dispose of the lei, you take it to the ocean, you take it to the land, the aina, and you just place it there. Like how nowadays we call it compost. We have a pile in the yard, constantly pile all the leaves or the plants, everything in this little pile, and over time it turns back into dirt and returns to the land. But of course you should go there and till, or you just rummaging through it, so it'll get soft and turn into soil, and it gets returned to the land. So overall, leis are very important pieces of our tradition, of our culture. It's a wonderful item for a gift, and if it's made out of flowers, boy, does it smell beautiful. It depends on what type of flower you use. Maybe in another episode I can explain a little bit more about the different flowers and what it represents, what color they are. Personally, it's hard for me to choose a certain flower. There's so much of them that I like. Many work really well in leis, but there are some that doesn't work in leis. For instance, gardenias. Oh goodness, I really love gardenias. The way it smells is so beautiful, but you rarely find those types of flowers in leis. On the other hand, plumerias, they are beautiful smelling, and you find a lot of those in leis. But anyway, another time we'll talk about the different types of flowers. So for now, I'm going to leave it at that. Whereas leis, very important to our culture, our heritage, and it's just an overall wonderful gift to be sharing with other people and to be receiving, to be honored for many different reasons. Or even just to make one just for yourself and to just be adorned, so it's a beautiful item. So I would totally encourage people to be making leis if they can. Learn how to make a lei. It takes some skills, it takes a lot of time, but when it's done, it's a beautiful item to have. And really, when you're in Hawaii, every day is a good day to wear a lei. Okay, gang, I hope you learned something about leis today in this episode, and you found value in the podcast. So if you did, please feel free to rate this podcast. 2 stars, 4 stars, 5 stars would be wonderful. I'd really appreciate it. Review the program, leave me some comments, either here in this podcast app, or you can find me on social media on any of the platforms, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. So leave me a comment there. I would love to hear from you folks, especially letting me know what type of topic that you would like me to share when it comes to our culture. Please remember to tell your family and friends about the show, and you can find me at hawaiiabroad.com. This is Auntie Max, hoping you have a mai kai day, and I'll see you soon. Aloha!